I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm going to be the bearer of bad news today, because it's very important to talk about this and let people know what's going on, to let them know what is happening to the internet, and how censorship is getting worse and worse by the day. The amount of damage that payment processors like Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, and various other activist groups, and even governments have done to the internet in just the last 4 or 5 months is just insane. And it's crazy to think that we are continuously seeing the escalation of censorship on so many different sites, and creative expression, art, games, everything, and I don't see any of this really slowing down. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like it's going to continuously ramp up until the point where it reaches a nuclear breakthrough, to where there's going to be either massive pushback or no way to really stop it, whatever the case may be. But the point is, I want to read this and cover what's going on here. We have revised our terms of use and expanded the list of countries and regions subject to content restrictions. This was posted on October 27th. At the time of me recording this, it's less than 24 hours ago. Greetings from Pixiv. As of November 10th, 2025, Pixiv will be updating the restrictions for healthy expression in specific countries and regions. Section of our terms of use to expand the list of applicable regions. In addition to the United Kingdom and United States, the following countries and regions will newly be subject to these restrictions: Australia, Canada, member states of the European Union as of October 2025. Please note that this may change depending on the status of EU membership, and New Zealand. This is just bad. Very, very bad for a lot of reasons, and I'm about to cover. But in this way, I think permaban really just puts it in a really good way here. Restrictions for healthy expression, Pixiv says, on behalf of these countries. These governments and NGOs should really just bluntly and honestly call these what they are: censorship policies. Honestly, permaban here really just took the words straight out of my mouth. That's exactly what I think about the situation. But it's obviously not just these governments that are doing it. It's credit card payment processors. To give an actual example of this, basically back in April of last year, been way over a year, Pixiv will block NSFW content for users in US and UK, which is a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal that basically, you had adult content and art censored in the United States and UK. It basically was a complete attack on creative expression, and the reason why this was done was because payment processors got involved, and they were like, if you don't remove this content, then we're going to remove our services, and you're no longer going to be able to make money. Basically the same tactic that payment processors like Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal have been doing over and over again, pretty much with every site, every business, every company, and a lot of stuff within Japan. And as I talked about yesterday, it really does feel kind of racist. It does. Like, the straight up attack on just Japan in general from these payment processors is pretty insane, and it just continues to happen. And it's not just, let's say, art. As I've pointed out already many times in the past, they even have targeted dating apps for Japanese citizens, which is insane, because anyone that knows anything about Japan, there is a common theme and a well-known knowledge that Japan has a population problem. And the fact that these payment processors even targeted an app to be able to help an actual ongoing issue within Japan is pretty insane. But getting into the point, because I'm getting a little bit off track, the point is that this is a systematic domino effect that is getting worse and worse. This is more or less an escalation and continuation of what happened back in April of 2024 with NSFW content being removed from the United States and UK, and basically now it is expanded to, like, Australia, Canada, EU, all other different countries basically in the West Hemisphere. It's getting worse. It's getting a lot worse, and it's not going to stop here. I feel like it's going to continue to escalate, and a lot more things are going to continue to get censored as time ticks on forward, until eventually it reaches something so dire, so nuclear, that there's just no way anyone theoretically could ignore it anymore, and Visa and MasterCard might mess up and censor the wrong thing, to where a company eventually will actually try to fight back. So we need to get into the point of what Pixiv is actually censoring, because I feel like this is a very big topic that people need to understand. So Pixiv has a lot of adult content. It has a lot of NSFW content, a lot of content people would find icky or gross, not like, and find very uncomfortable. And as I've always said in my videos, I've talked about, just because the content you find is icky or uncomfortable and you don't like it, doesn't necessarily mean that it shouldn't exist. If it's not real, it's fiction and all that, it doesn't harm anyone. You can not like it, you can dislike it, whatever, but it has a right to exist because it's just fiction. It's just a drawing at the end of the day. And if you are fine with censorship of content that you dislike, eventually censorship will trickle down, and it will start to censor the things that you love. Censorship never stops at the things you hate. That's the truth. It will continue to get worse and worse, and as the steamroller comes in to run you over in censorship, it will hit you, and you'll be like, why aren't you guys fighting for me? Like, I thought you guys hated censorship. But the thing is everybody was already censored so long ago that they no longer have a voice. They no longer can speak up about these things because they're tired, they're old, they just don't know what to do anymore. And so the point of the matter is that yes, there is content on Pixiv that many people probably won't like. There is definitely some tags and stuff people are completely against. But the point is that if you allow censorship of art, more art will get censored. And that is a fundamental issue here. And I completely think what these governments and these payment processors are doing is not okay. And I'm willing to bet you one of the big reasons to why this is happening is not necessarily because of governments. This is obviously happening thanks to payment processors. Because once again, I've already shown proof. We know that they have been targeting Japanese artists and artwork for a very long time. I mean, this is an example back in November of last year. A very easy example with like Manga Library Z and, how Ken, an actual politician in Japan talked about it, how it was shut down thanks to credit card companies. There's a lot of damage that, these payment processors keep doing to authors and artists and stuff in Japan. And so, it is an issue that just keeps popping up over and over again. There's many examples that they have been doing this, so I feel like this whole Pixiv change is them once again probably threatening something on Pixiv. If they don't do something, it's GG for them, so to speak. But yeah, I wanted to bring this to people's attention. It's obviously bad news. It's not good news by any means, but I feel like it's important to talk about to let people know. Now, there is apparently a workaround to get around the issue with Pixiv. They do state that you could basically change your location on the account to Japan to be able to continue to see pretty much everything, but I feel like as time ticks on by, and most likely these payment processors become aware of this, it will probably be not as easy to do that. I feel like something will come in to stop that actually from happening. So do keep that in mind. Right now there is a workaround for that, but it doesn't stop the fact that it most likely will eventually be targeted, especially with just how rampant these payment processors have been for censorship of content. But I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. May you all be safe and healthy. Leave a comment on this video. Helps with the algorithm. Chibi out.